What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'm going straight in on this one, fam. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes was one of the most popular Philadelphia soul groups of the 1970s. The group's repertoire included soul, R&B, doo-wop, and disco. Despite the success, the Blue Notes lineup continued to change regularly. In 1972, Melvin brought in Jerry Cummins to replace Lloyd Parks, and Sharon Page was added to the lineup at that time, providing solo performances on several recordings. While at the top of their success in 1976, you know where I'm going with this, fam, Teddy quit after an argument over what? You guessed it, money. A year earlier, he had gained billing recognition by having the act renamed to Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, featuring Theodore Pendergrass, starting from the Wake Up album, the Wake Up Everybody album. Family, this is a very familiar story regarding Teddy Pendergrass in the music industry. What's not familiar is the story of his manager slash lover. Taz Melanie Lane was a Philadelphia it girl in the 1970s who hung out with stars like Dionne Warwick, Nancy Wilson, and even her son's friends, the Jackson 5, when they came to town. By all accounts, she was well loved and liked by everyone. Still, the former beautician was shot down in her early 30s outside of her home, and her murder remains unsolved, despite rumors that her former lover and client might have had something to do with her death. The one-time wife of former Philadelphia Eagles fullback Israel Izzy Lane was more than just popular and fond of hanging out with celebrities. She was a businesswoman who at one point was the manager of R&B legend Teddy Pendergrass. Her career as a music manager was short-lived, as she was gunned down a year after becoming Teddy Pendergrass's manager when he left the soul group Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Pendergrass was originally the drummer for the group, but was tapped to sing the lead on many of its biggest songs. He believed he should have received the lion's share of what the group was bringing in, but he was not. Popular lore also suggests the emerging sex symbol wanted the group's name to be changed to Teddy Pendergrass and the Blue Notes, and when it was not, he left the act in 1975. This is when Taz stepped in. Taz became not just the manager, but his business partner, shaping his career into one that rivaled those of Marvin Gaye, Al Green, and many other soulful singing sex symbols of the time. Under this arrangement, Teddy reportedly gave Taz approximately 50 shares in his Teddy Bear production company. She would lend him $15,043, according to court papers, to help launch his career as a solo artist. Somewhere around this time, Taz became his lover, but broke it off after about 2 months. Through her capacity as a manager, she went to New York City on April 14, 1977, to tie up the last details of Teddy's first tour after he released his self-titled debut album earlier that year. When she returned to Philadelphia from the Big Apple, she met Teddy and his band on their tour bus. which was scheduled to leave around 10 p.m. from the Broad and Locust in the city center. Their first trip was to stop in Buffalo, New York. Taz did not leave with them and decided to go back home. She called her mother, Eva Ritter, and said, "I've got something to tell you, but I can't tell you what it is until I get there." That would be the last thing she said to her mother. When Taz arrived at her Mount Airy home, while at the front door to get in, someone shot her from what the authorities suggest was 15 feet away, sending a bullet into her arm. The bullet traveled through her arm and then into her chest, killing her immediately. She died at the age of 33. Immediately, whispers were suggesting that there had to be a hit on her. At the time, there was speculation that Teddy Pendergrass was displeased with how his management contract favored Taz, and that she refused to renegotiate the terms. Rumors that the soul singer was connected to local gangsters also started to float. Investigators from the Philadelphia Police Department stated that the person who killed her probably didn't expect the bullet that went into her arm and traveled to her heart to be fatal. They also believe that the person must have been hiding in the bushes near her home. Detective Edward Hughes said at the time, "If someone was set to kill her, it wasn't a real professional job. If the bullet doesn't go through her arm, all she has is a serious arm injury. But anything's possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone had been sent there to scare her." Luminaries of all kinds attended her funeral at the Second Macedonia Baptist Church to say their final farewells. Lola Falana read a poem in her honor. Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff were also in attendance, and the Reverend Jesse Jackson eulogized her. Taz was laid to rest at the Shelton Hills Cemetery. Police say that no one from Philadelphia International Records cooperated with them while they were trying to piece together the murder. One music industry linked to the murder was JoJo Tynes, an employee of Teddy Bear Productions. He was reportedly with Taz when she was shot, helping her out of the car around 11:30 p.m. After they left Teddy Pendergrass and the band on the tour bus. According to reports, Tynes walked her to the door but turned around to get something out of the trunk of Teddy Pendergrass's Mercedes. He would say he did not see the shooter and could not get to her before she died. Tynes' fiancee, Kim Oliver, said after he died in 2013 that Taz's death bothered him in the end. The police questioned JoJo, but he was baffled as everybody else over what happened. It always bothered him, she said in an interview with the Philadelphia Inquirer. People also thought that he might have had something to do with the murder because he was there and saw nothing. Some people suspected Teddy Pendergrass of being involved with her death. The TKO singer denied any connection to the shooting and spoke about finding out about her death in his autobiography, Truly Blessed. He wrote, "Taz was tending to business, but returned to Philly in time to say goodbye before I left. We promised to talk the next day." As the rest of the entourage checked into the hotel, a desk clerk said, "Mr. Pendergrass, you have an urgent message from Philadelphia." I dialed the number and was informed that Taz had been murdered. I was in shock. He continued, "I have never gotten over her murder." Teddy Pendergrass, who became paralyzed from the waist down following a single car crash 4 years after Taz's death in 1982, died in 2010. In 1986, Taz's estate sued Teddy Pendergrass, alleging he had never paid them royalties owed them based on a 1976 contract he signed. August 1st of that year, he signed an agreement for 1 year with options for renewal for 3 additional one-year periods. Within that month, the singer entered into a different contract with Associated Music Company, Inc. That was supposed to last until October 3rd, 1978, with options for renewal. It also stipulated that Assorted would pay royalties to Pendergrass for all recordings produced and sold by them. On September 17, 1976, Pendergrass, Taz, and Assorted purportedly entered an agreement where Assorted would directly pay Taz 10% of all royalties owed to Pendergrass under their agreement. Additionally, Assorted was instructed to provide the manager with copies of the royalty statements given to Pendergrass. Taz's mother believed that she should have received 10% of his royalties, even though her daughter was dead, because she oversaw her estate according to the Ritter versus Pendergrass lawsuit. The courts would dismiss the claim based on the estate, only allowing them to go to trial to claim that he owed $15,000 that he borrowed, which would go to her heir. Her then 8-year-old son, Izzy Jr., was left as her sole heir and beneficiary. No arrests have ever been made in the young woman's murder, and despite all the fighting over money, Teddy Pendergrass died with only $100,000 in his bank account. Different family members, spent almost years in court disputing rights to his estate, including his home and valuable music catalog. However, amidst the fighting, his mansion went into foreclosure and they lost his property. Sad, sad, sad story. Family, I want to show you a picture of Taz. This is Taz and Teddy Pendergrass. Who does that woman look like? Taz looks eerily similar to who? Holly Pete Robinson. Or is it Holly Robinson Pete? Yeah. She looks a lot like Holly Robinson Pete. Look at that. That could be her mother. That could be her sister. That is crazy. When I first saw her picture, I kept looking at her. I was like, man, she looked like somebody. I couldn't quite put a finger on it. And then boom, it hit me. Holly Robinson Pete. This happens all the time, fam, in the music industry. That damn money, man. That damn money, that damn ego. That's how it happens. Responsible for breaking up some of the greatest groups of all time. Almost every single musical group that has ever existed has broken up over egos and money. This is crazy. This is my first time hearing about this story. That's why I wanted to share it with y'all. I'm sure some of y'all have heard about this story, but this is my first time hearing about it. And I just found it was like I thought it was a compelling story. Like Teddy Pendergrass putting a hit out on his manager / lover. Holly and Teddy's ex could easily pass for sisters, mother and daughter. Jesse Jackson performed a eulogy. So many luminaries of that time showed up at her funeral, so she had to be putting in work for those type of people to show up at her funeral and care so much. They were in there deep. Teddy Pendergrass owned several cars. They say that the brakes on his Mercedes that he was driving the night of his accident failed But that was not the first time. It happened to two of his other cars. Think about that, fam. Was that really an accident? The brakes on my cars, I've had brand new cars, and I've had some of the raggediest cars known to man. I had some raggedy cars. I had a car so raggedy that you had to keep your foot on the gas, on the accelerator, and the brake to stop it from owling out anytime you came to a stop. So. But I ain't never had a car where the brakes failed. Like the brakes just failed. I've never had that happen. And they're saying that he had like this happened to him like 3 times, like on different cars. Come on, fam. What's really going on? I don't believe in those. I don't believe in those type of coincidences. I believe in coincidences, but 3 cars? Nah. Some people call it divine karma. But, who knows? Who knows? The story that I just told you guys was brought to you by Atlanta Black Star. Y'all should follow that. I read that a lot. They got some good, very good, interesting stories. In any event, fam, I'm going into the comments to see what y'all think about this. Teddy Pendergrass being implemented by people who are suspicious of his involvement in the death of his manager / lover. What do y'all think, man? Let's see what y'all thinking over here. Give me a thumbs up, family, if you believe that Teddy Pendergrass was involved in the death of Taz Lane. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you say, nah, man, no way, they digging, man. They ain't got nothing on that, man. Leave that man alone. They just making up stuff. Thumbs down if you think it's just a bunch of folklore. Let's see what y'all saying. IG down, Mansa down, Patrick down, Zuri up, Zuri Productions up, Miss Diligent down, Robert Epps down, Michael Robinson up, Willie Wilson up, Jesse down, Ram down, Trucker down, Jamal down, Sweet Pea up, Mary down, Tia up, Art up, Crush down, Beanie up, Papa Dot down, Romantic. I don't know, it looked like y'all about split on this, fam. I'm gonna tell you like this, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think, because with people, if you really just don't, look, sometimes you can know a person and not really know a person. So I didn't know Teddy Pendergrass. And I haven't studied his personality enough. I haven't studied his personality enough. Haven't heard enough interviews from him, haven't heard him talk, and so that I can learn, his behavioral traits. So I don't know enough to say what he might or may not be capable of doing, what he may or may not be capable of doing. I don't know. Like I said, sometimes you can know somebody and don't really know them. Like you can know the person's name, you can have been knowing them for 10 years, have phone them, call them on the phone daily. You can somebody be living an entire double life. So hey, this stuff that's going on with Puffy make me question all these R&B singers. That's right, man. These R&B singers, man, make me question all of them. Like, What y'all out there doing? These all this, y'all looking at these rappers talking about what the rappers are doing. The R&B singers is the one you got to watch. No, I'm just kidding. But Puff ain't no R&B singer. But y'all know what I'm saying. Puff do the R&B stuff, you know. He do that, you know, that R&B stuff. But anyway, fam, Puff it. I don't know, man. That threw me off. They say Puffy calling hits, like getting people cars blown up and all kinds of stuff. In any event, this is a tough one right here. This caught me off guard. I had to share this with y'all because I'm like, if this is my first time hearing about this, and if it's my first time hearing about it, I know it's somebody else's first time hearing about it. But there are people out there who believe that Teddy Pendergrass had his manager killed. There are people that believe that he actually had his manager knocked off. And they say this is because that he had ties to organized gangs, the mob. So he had ties. So, and he had a problem with his contract. Usually when somebody is killed, the first suspect is the spouse. It's the living spouse. That's the first suspect. And then next is business associates. So who does he have a beef with? Like who stands, or who does she have a beef with, and who stands to gain the most from her death? See, sometimes the D in my name stand for detective. You know what I'm saying? I can do this detective stuff if I really wanted to. You know, some of this stuff is just, you know, a process of elimination. Like, think about it, fam. It's simple stuff. You know? Yeah, I've seen them solve some of these crimes, you know, some of these high-profile crimes. And I've helped them solve these crimes from my couch. Just sitting up there watching TV like, oh, this did it. He the one guilty. They did it. We'll check this person, check that person. Yeah. So I would say, look at who stands to benefit the most from her death. The first thing that you do is you look at who she's dating, who's in a relationship with her, or who is pursuing her. You know, you're talking to neighbors, you're talking to family members, you know, you're checking phone records, trying to see who she's talking to the most. You checking the whereabouts of the person, anybody she have an intimate relationship with or romantic relationship with. And then you start checking her finances. You look into the finances, you go to the bank records, see what the money look like, follow the paper trail. Got a business partner? Okay, let's see what the business look like. Who stands to gain the most from her dying? Whether it's something monetary, or whether it's something, you know, emotional. Who stands to gain the most? What's up, Miss Jazzy? Miss Jazzy is in the building. Oh, here, Ashante say, watch Unsung. It tells the whole story. That man was pure evil. Whoa. Yeah, fam. I mean, it happens, right? That's why I say you never know. Like, sometimes you can. I've been around all kinds of people. I've been around people who looks evil and is evil or was evil, speaking in past tense because they are no longer here. And I've been around people who appear to be good, decent, But because I've been around them, I know who they really are. And if you ain't been around them, you might fall for the okie doke. You might think, oh, this person is a great person. This is cool. This good person, good people. Man. I've been around some straight up people and I've been around people that's quiet, low key, chop your head off. Straight up, fam. Evil, 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 evil. Women too. Y'all ain't letting y'all off the hook. Some of these women out here be acting innocent, nice and sweet and innocent. Tear your head off. Tear your head off. What's up, Gene from Detroit? Some people think that there are people out there that think that Teddy Pendergrass got in that wreck and became paralyzed because of his karma for killing or having something to do with the death of Taz Lane. Again, I don't know what the truth is, but I tell you what, that Teddy Pendergrass, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, one of the coldest acts ever, man. When they had their run, they had a hell of a run. And shouts out to Harold Melvin because he was a great businessman. He wasn't the best singer in the group, but he ran the show. He was the businessman of the group. Got to that money. Had his name in the front. Had his name in the front the entire time, but he had to add Ted on the featuring side because Teddy was killing it, and he was bound to go solo. So obviously, when they fell out, Teddy felt like he wasn't getting his proper recognition. They fell out behind the money. Then, Teddy had a strong desire to go solo, and that's what he did. Ted went solo, and the rest is history. But let me go back to Taz Lane, the woman in question. Look at that woman, and I got to put her next to Holly Robinson Peete. This woman looks just like Holly Robinson Peete. Holly Robinson Peete looks just like her, since she's old. She would have been older. That's Teddy with Taz. Look at that air conditioner in the back. Crazy. Here's a picture of Harold Melvin out in front. That's Harold Melvin in the front. And Teddy to your right, his left. Boy, they was killing it. They was killing it back then. Killing it. What's interesting to me, fam, is that at the time, women didn't have a whole lot of power in the industry. So it could have been a whole lot of people jealous of her. Think about what I'm saying. Women did not have a lot of power in the industry back then. So there could have been a whole lot of people jealous of her. Most accounts say that Teddy wanted out of his management contract with her. However, there's an article from back in the Gap where her mother says that she was the one tired of the entertainment world and she wanted out of her management contract. So At the very least, the story is mysterious. This is what the mother said, and I'm gonna tell you something. If the mother and her were really, really close, I can tend to believe the mother. But if she had one of those type of mothers who would do anything for money, she could be bought off. This is possible. That's why you can't just listen to anything, hear anything, just take it for face value. There's a possibility that somebody could have got to the mother and been like, yo, I need you to say this right here. You know, they're going to believe you. They'll believe you. You know, get mama to say something different to throw off the scent. It's possible. One thing we know for sure, Taz Melanie Lane did not murder herself. A lot of people say that the photos of Taz don't really do her justice. They say she was knocked dead gorgeous, like knocked down gorgeous. I don't know, fam. She got knocked off, and like the report said, it didn't really seem like a professional hit if the bullet went through her arm and then hit her chest, you know, entered her chest and killed her. Perhaps they wasn't trying to kill her. Perhaps they was just trying to scare her. I tend to believe that they were just trying to scare her because this doesn't sound like a professional hit. A professional hit would, if you get up close on somebody on a professional hit, you're getting hit in the head for sure. Professional, you definitely getting hit in the head. So this doesn't sound like a professional hit to me. But then at the same time, you know, they probably shot her at one time and then took off running, thinking that they didn't kill her. Found out later, oh, she dead. Damn, didn't mean to do that. Or perhaps the same people was trying to get rid of her was trying to get rid of Teddy Pendergrass. Who knows? Who knows? I'm gonna take a poll one more time, fam, and I'm gonna see. I gotta see where y'all at on this. Gotta see where you at. Okay, so XO says everyone in Philly knew Teddy had something to do with Taz's murder. She was entering into her house and was found dead outside of her house. Yeah. In any event, no matter what, fam, this is one of those murders that I don't think will ever be solved unless somebody confesses on their deathbed. And even if somebody confesses on their deathbed, I don't think anybody's going to jail. I don't think anybody's going to jail. Can't put Teddy in jail. He's dead. So I don't think anybody's going to jail on this. I think this is it. But let me know, fam, do you believe that Teddy Pendergrass had something to do with the murder of Taz Lane? Do you believe that Teddy Pendergrass had something to do with the murder, the unsolved murder of Taz Melanie Lane? Thumbs up if you think he had something to do with it. Thumbs down if you say, no way, Jose. Drop a comment, fam. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See where we are. Danny is undecided. Anita, down. Ruth Robinson, down. Robert Epps, down. XO, up. Ashante, up. Miss Diligent, down. Because I'm me, down. Super Gang, down. J-Mo, up. E-Dub, down. Keon Jordan, up. Yeah, it look like y'all still split on this, fam. Look like y'all kind of split on this one. Gary, down. I draw for kicks, down. Key, down. Gay McGill, down. Black Gold, down. So most of y'all are saying down. Most of y'all do not believe that Teddy Pendergrass had something to do with the death of Taz Lane. Most of y'all don't believe he had anything to do with the death. I hope he didn't have anything to do with her death. But if he did, whoever had something to do with her death, she seemed like a good person, seemed like she was an innocent person. So I hope that her family will find peace. I hope that they can get some type of closure out of this. R.I.T. Taz Mayer, Taz Melanie Lane. No more